good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another energy people for today, the 2nd of November 2021, where we are in a waning crescent moon that will transit to the sign of Libra at 6:11 a.m. Bangkok time. Rest and reset is the theme of today. It's a coming up for air after a deep dive. Yeah. There's been a lot of excitement and a lot going on and a lot of bubbling energy and a lot of just a lot. There's been a lot in the last couple of days. And I believe very much that today is a little bit of like a slower down, have a little thinker, contemplate, like just like go over the events that have happened recently and just like do just process them. It's about processing today. We might feel very tired in hearing. Like I just get a general feeling of fatigue from the energy of today. And it might not even be a bad fatigue, but it's just like, wow, that's done. Wow, that happened. Yep, that happened. Yeah. Literally the calm after some big event, the aftershock has worn off. And it's just taking a second to get it all in your brain hole. Yeah. Today we also have Mercury retrograde shadow is ending. All right. It's a really good vibe. It's really good. Mercury is the planet that rules communication, that rules our intellect, the way that we communicate with people, the way that we use technology, travel, health, all those kinds of things. And Mercurian energy is kind of out of its element. It can cause bedlam in our lives, lots of confusion, lots of hard time honoring promises, hard time keeping plans, just like everything seems to, it's like it keeps you on your toes. Let's just say that energy just keeps you on your toes. So this is really truly finished now, and we're coming up for air. I'm gonna write that down. All right. So we've got a couple of aspects today that we are going to talk about. First and foremost, the moon is making a square with Venus. So our emotions may be challenged a little bit by Venusian energies. So we may have had things be put under the spotlight with regards to Venusian energies. So things like creativity, things like money, things like love and relationships, things like passion and compassion. Feminine energies with regards to creation, very much so. If you've had an idea that you've been trying to cultivate, if you're starting a new job or a new relationship, or I don't know, just working on a project that you feel very passionate about, something that you are the fruits of your labors, the physical representation of the energy of abundance. Do you forebode joy? Are you afraid of your dreams coming true? Are you worried that if you have everything that you want, that it's too much because then you have something to lose? Yeah. Are you worried that things can be too good to be true? Is that something you might tell yourself a lot? This is too good to be true. Today, with this sort of coming up for air and processing all that's happened, I believe that maybe you've been having that feeling of this is too good to be true put in the spotlight. And it could be in a way that maybe you are feeling that before, if you were presented with the same situation before you had done a lot of self-work, worked on filling your own cup, work on self-love, etc., etc. Maybe you would have thought that this was too good to be true, and for some reason you're still just like kind of like shocked that you're not feeling that way. Or maybe you are very, 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 very strongly feeling like the gifts that you're receiving are it's a tease. It's not gonna last. It's whatever, you know what I mean. If you forebode joy, now is the time to sort of look at that. This is a squaring energy, right? And the moon is in an airy sign of Libra, and Libra is all about balance, all about comparing the polarities of things in order to better understand the center ground of them. And maybe you've had a very, very difficult time for these last few months, and all of a sudden things are starting to lighten up, or vice versa. And the purpose now is to think about how those two extremes bring you back to a common ground that you can work productively with. The moon makes and as keep in mind too, a square. These are squaring each other. So a square can be a very challenging planet. And with Venus on the verge of moving into the sign of Capricorn, but still in the sign of Sagittarius, I feel that we still sometime have we're working towards our goals, but doing so on a grander scale that may have more implications than just for our own personal life. So it can have some challenging aspects. It might feel like too many cooks are in the kitchen right now for some of you guys. The moon is also trining Saturn. So your check-ins and readjustments are really helping during this airy moon in Libra. I think you've been doing them. If you've been doing them and you've been feeling some form of success, this will be a moment for you to kind of like pat yourself on the back and go like, wow, I've really managed to hear the calls of readjustment, and I've managed to adapt and move in a balanced way. Keep in mind the justice energy, the Libra energy that the moon is in right now, our subconscious and our emotions are seeking balance. So just as much as they can be the judge, jury, and executioner, they can also very much be the award giver. You know, if you've been doing well, you may be getting rewarded right now by Saturn by saying like, hey, good job, you've kept yourself in really close alignment, and you've really kept an eye on all of the things that are going on. And in the past, you might have just gotten caught up in the whirlwind and gone over expression ways, you know, like gone from 0 to 1 billion in like 4 seconds. And I feel that right now we're seeing the benefits of taking our time and about constantly being aware of ourselves to the point that we can adapt and react to just about anything at the drop of a hat. We're maybe not feeling so much like change is a bad thing anymore, I'm hearing. Yeah, it's this willingness for us to be, but keep in mind also with the other side of the scales too, is that maybe there could be a very, if you have been feeling really, really, really unsteady in a bad way, like your world is literally falling apart, but it might just be a sign that you've not been listening quite close enough to those cues to keep you to readjust. And if so, Saturn in this trine is asking you to continue to expand and to use your subconscious to your advantage. Yeah. Especially over the course of this moon in Libra. We're willing to be compassionate right now, while we stop and evaluate, or we're being called basically to call the compassion of Libra energy in to really how to put this. I'm trying to find the right words for it. We're being called to stop and take a very compassionate look at our own personal situation in order to continue expanding and growing. And it's going to go either way. It will either be that you realize when you're honest with yourself that, okay, maybe I've been being a little lazy and I've been overexpressing certain things in the face of chaos. And I'm not quite there yet and I need to continue making readjustments. Or maybe you are definitely feeling that the readjustments that you've been making are playing out in your favor. It really, it's going to be different for each and every one of you. The moon is also trining the North Node. The North Node is all about the way that we move forward to our destiny, the way that we seek the future, what we see for ourselves. Yeah, how we feel our life path will carry forth. So, and they're both in an air sign right now. So the North Node is in Gemini right now. And the moon is in Libra. So we have the mutable and the cardinal. The mutable and the cardinal air signs. Which tells me that we're really in a thinking mood today. Yeah, we're very thinky, lots of thinky. And we're thinking about how we feel about our future. Yeah, and about how our progress has come so forth and how we can continue either improving the process as we go or fortifying the good processes that we're setting into place. But it's real. We're doing a think. We're doing a think. Yeah, we're really, really, really contemplating what the heck is going on right now. And I really do like that. I like that. I feel that we are monitoring our progress and seeing how we go, so that we can continue to truck forward towards our North Star. Moon is also in opposition with Chiron. So Chiron is the wounded planet, the wounded traveler. Excuse me. It basically denotes how we carry forth with the lessons of our past. And often with referring to the painful lessons of our past, yeah, the ones that kind of beat us up. How do we carry those? Are we the beast of burden? Ooh, beast of burden. Are we the beast of burden for our past, or do we use it as do we carry them as beautiful battle scars that we display with pride to show where we've been? And with an opposition, we are pushing and pulling, right? It's a tug of war. And the moon in Libra, yes, is called to come into is to bring compassion into the situation, but it's also very realistic, and it also does, like I said, look at both sides of the scale, pretty realistically, and sometimes that, sometimes it's honesty isn't always comfortable. Let's just say. Our wounds of our past are present on our minds, but we have a choice about how they affect us now, and we are really, really, well, I mean, we always have, but now we are aware more and more so of the choice of how our subconscious and emotional states feed into the way we perceive the wounds of our past. Yeah, so I feel like some days, it's almost like some days you've got really, really good days where you're like, no, I know very, very, very well that these hardships that I've had in the past have led to my betterment and have made me who I am today. But some days, honestly, you struggle with it a little bit, and you do kind of think about how maybe situations were unfair. Yeah, how were they unbalanced? So I believe that it's very important for us to acknowledge the level of balance in our past, but keep in mind that the past we can't be changed, right? So acknowledging what happened in the past is super important, but there is no sense in dwelling on it. So with this opposition with Chiron, I feel like we are being asked to not dwell on the events of the past and how they were unfair to us, and instead use them as fuel to learn from our mistakes, basically. And last but not least, we have Mercury making a square with Pluto, and I believe that this is really, really, really sort of embodying the end of the Mercury retrograde shadow. And this is a recapitulation. I heard it's a real recapitulation. So like it's when you it's like when you finish a project and you're going to go look back at all the steps of the project and how the whole project went, so that we can evaluate the productivity of the team in order to do better in the next phases, or even like it's like a part of a shamanic journey. Very much so. Part of the shamanic journey is a recapitulation of your life, where you go back and you think about all the people that you've met and all of the way that they've affected you. And I mean, you can go into it very, very deeply, or you can kind of just scratch the surface. But like, you could literally make a list of every single person that you have ever met and how they affected your life, and it could whatever you remember of them. But anyway, there's this shamanic kind of vibe right now with this Mercury squaring Pluto, that just tells me that we're looking back at what's happened over retrograde. And how these energies have turned and shifted, and we're making new game plans, because we know that has come to an end, and they're, like I said, when we're considering our past with the wounded healer in play, we do know that there is no sense on dwelling on things, although it is important to acknowledge them. Yeah. So Mercury retrograde, whatever happened for you over the last, oh God, when did it start? I can't even remember. It's I would say it's been roughly a month and a half that we've been dealing with Mercury retrograde energy. Yeah. 13th. Yeah, the 13th of September. Yeah, so pretty well bang on a month and a half ago. Mercury retrograde shadow began, the pre-shadow. And maybe we need to look back between the 13th of September and what's happened now. It's been a lot of excitement. There's been a lot that has happened. Just take a little recapitulation of all the things that have gone on, so you can sort of get a grounded stance on how your life is progressing. It's really nice. Okay, let's get a card of the day. I am gonna have to actually, before I do this, I'm just gonna get up now. I'll be honest, I'm very sorry, guys. I've had a lot going on, and I'm a bit of a hummingbird lately, and I've just kind of things slipped my mind. I've left the bag of tricks in the other room, so just please bear with me for a moment. Sorry. Okay. So, Magic card of the day from the Starseed Oracle. I know it's been a while. I've not used it for a while. Truthfully, I was airing it out. It in a humid climate, paper can get kind of stinky. I'm not gonna lie. So I've used this card quite a bit. These cards quite a bit, and oh, for God's sake, I gotta get up again. I'm sorry. One more time. I have not seen this card yet, and they need the book. I used to use this deck all the time. I gave it a little rest, and here we go. The first time I'm using it in a while. It's a card that's I've never drawn from the deck, I don't believe. It's beautiful. Heraith. Longing for home. Homesick for the stars. Yeah. Wow. Some of us might be having a little bit of struggle with the whole being human thing today. Some of you guys might be feeling particularly alienated by whatever situation is that you are going through right now. And for some of you, it's as simple as just like being alive. You know, you're like, this is really strange and everything is bizarre. Or whatever it is that wherever you are. Maybe some of you guys are in a job that you don't like, or in a relationship that's not very comfortable, or whatever it may be. Either way, you're feeling the pull to go to a comfortable place. You're feeling the pull to take refuge and to be safe for the moment. And I believe that this kind of is bringing us to that. You know, we're doing a think, right? We want to have a safe space to be able to clear our head. So that we can come back home to ourselves again. Maybe all of the things that have been going on in the last couple of days have made you feel a little off kilter, and you were doing really well at your grounding practices, and you were doing really well at meditating, and maybe all of this excitement has kind of got you out of your groove. And I'm feeling like you're being encouraged to kind of take this breath, take this recapitulation time, and come back into your the home that is right here. Heraith is a Welsh word that's difficult to translate, but it refers to certain longing or homesickness, a yearning for home or a place to which we cannot return. This unexplainable, unshakable longing for home is common in starseeds and old souls. Perhaps you've had it since birth. For some, it's a distant memory of a planet, galaxy, or star system in the universe that their soul remembers and yearns to return to, a place they may have experienced more than Earth. For others, it's a longing for the unity of Source, a remembering of interconnected oneness. This yearning can lead some starseeds to travel, searching all corners of the planet to find a physical place that feels more like home. For others, it can manifest as a need to find a home in people, communities, or relationships, a journey to find somewhere they truly belong. If you resonate with this yearning for home but don't really know where home is, you're being invited to remember that your soul chose to be on Earth. You're being called to fully commit to embodying your life. You're being reassured that you didn't come here alone and that your soul consciously decided to experience what it's like to be a soul in a human body on the planet at this time. You're being called to anchor all of your presence, your personality, your soul, and your spirit in here and now, to fully commit to living this life right now, to commit to putting 2 feet completely in. And the Starseed Soul Inquiry is, how can you commit more fully to your life? So this recapitulation, that whatever's happened in the last couple of days has got you thinking about how you can be more present in your day-to-day, how you can be more at home in your skin, how you can feel more a sense of belonging in the swirling, cloudy kind of confusion that happens. It's about reeling it all back in. Some of you guys might be really, really familiar with this feeling, as it said. If you can identify with anything as the book reads, as being a starseed or as being an old soul, this feeling of kind of like, I'm not sure if this is really kind of so true to my real nature. That kind of feeling might not be unfamiliar to you, and maybe you're just feeling particularly alienated, like I said, in this given moment. But yeah, do yourself a little think. And yeah. Your life as a canvas is under the deck. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. So maybe some of you guys need to get your creation on. Or actually, I just heard some of you guys might have a creativity hangover. It's like really like you've been using your sacral chakra's tired. Yeah. It's nice. It's good energy though. It's good. It's good. It's I'm feeling like it's a really good tired. It's like the sore you get after a workout. Stand up to and temper tantrum. Okay, so maybe somebody you're dealing with is going to be throwing a fit, and you're being told to stand your ground. I mean, check in with yourself and know that you are living in your integrity, right? But if people are throwing tantrums around you, just be sure to stand your ground. And vice versa. If you yourself are feeling a temper tantrum, just remember that you have the ability to, you are in charge of your own emotion and your own emotional reactions to things. And if you're throwing a temper tantrum, look, we're all human, right? We're allowed to throw a fit. But if you're throwing a tantrum, just be very, very careful that you can take the time afterwards to sort of reevaluate it and see where that explosive energy came from and how maybe you can deal with it on a more even level. Yeah. Or maybe some of you guys are just really, really trying to not throw a fit. And if that's the case, you're doing great. Okay. Duty and include. So you're feeling drawn to collaborate with people. You're feeling drawn to be very inclusive. You don't feel that you need to. It's like it's rated for everyone. I just heard, like a video game. You know, it's like when a video game starts up, it's like E for everyone. I'm hearing that it's whatever you're doing right now is E for everyone. You must include people in this thing that you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can't do it alone, and it's your absolute duty to collaborate now. Okay? Do not be a lone wolf. All right? Rejection and conflict. Some of you guys might be feeling the burn of rejection right now, and it can cause you a lot of Two of Swords kind of vibes. I'm getting that kind of like feeling like you don't have the information necessary to make proper decisions. Some of you guys are just worried that something that you're doing is going to put you in a position to be rejected. And you know what? I commend you. If you are doing something that's putting you in a position to be rejected, look, you're being a warrior. You're living wholeheartedly. You're being vulnerable, and that's what gets things done. All right. Nobody could ever create something without being vulnerable. I've said this before. Think about somebody think about Christopher Columbus going like, I'm going to sail across the sea, and people are like, you're going to fall off the other side. And he's like, well, no, I don't think so. I think I'm going to do it. And, you know, like, yeah, people called him crazy, but he still did it. And the world would be a very different place if he didn't, you know? Tough decision and conviction. All right. So you're being really called to again, that Two of Swords energy here with that conflict. If some of you guys are being called to make some sort of a decision right now, it's not an easy one, but you do know what the answer is. I'm hearing you do have strong conviction about your morals and integrity, and you already know what that decision is, even if you're kind of dilly-dallying on putting your foot down and actually making it, because it can be, you know, it's not an easy decision. It's hard to put your foot down. We had stand up to and temper tantrum, right? Like maybe there's somebody that you know is really volatile that you have to talk to, and you need to be firm with them, and you're like, ooh, do I go talk to them or do I not talk to them? Ooh. Yeah, it's a tough decision, but you know what's right. All right, I'm hearing that you very much know what's right with this. So don't you worry, you're going to be just fine today. All right, either way, do yourself a think. Be compassionate with yourself and allow yourself to feel whatever you feel. Just be aware and realistic about it after it happens, okay? Take this beautiful breath, come up for air after all this excitement, and just take a look back at all the things that have happened to you. You might be surprised, you know, by doing a little recapitulation, you might even just realize that you have done so much better than you even occurred to you. Yeah. Anyway, I will be over on YouTube, on Instagram for live today for the moon transit, and I will be back on YouTube here tomorrow for another energy check-in. My books are open if you're interested in a personal reading. Thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes, and all that. Please, guys, if you do mind, if you are watching this, please press that little like button. It does help me. I would like to try and get more into the YouTube algorithms and shit like that. I know. Help other people like yourselves find my messages so that they can benefit from them. Should they need to hear them. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. But until then, I'm so sorry for anything you're going through. If I've made you feel a certain way, thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to this circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, the angels, whatever energy has been involved in finding us whenever it finds us, whether it be right now, next week, next month, next year, 10 years from now, finding these messages for our greatest good whenever it is that we find them. I love you to the moon and stars and infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. But if not, that's cool.